Today, on the Vince Everett Ellison Show, masculinity is back. Donald Trump has brought cage fighting to the White House. Yeah. And the liberals are just like, oh, pearl clutching and scared. Why? Because, they thought they had eradicated men. They thought they had castrated all of us. No, baby, not today. Masculinity is back. And it's at the White House. And we're going to talk about that today on the Vince Everett Ellison Show. Let's get this thing started. Hey, man, Sunday night, Donald Trump said, bring back the gladiators, boy. Time to get down with the get down in America and show them what real men are like.
Celebrating 80 years of Donald Trump and 250 years of the United States, with cage fighting on the White House lawn. These United States have come a long way since George Washington led his troops to victory against the British. The event was not open to the public, but at least 4,000 guests were invited, including Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg. As the fighting got underway, Trump had ringside seats with his friend Dana White, who runs the Ultimate Fighting Championship, which is putting on the event. Diego Lopez walked out to the Mexican song La Chona and went on to defeat Steve Garcia in the opening featherweight bout. Up next, middleweight Bo Nickel took 4.5 minutes to defeat Kyle Daukaus. Before things kicked off, fans were clear about what the event meant.
What does it say to you that the UFC is here in front of the White House?
That we're American. We love America. We're all about America, especially on America's birthday, Trump's birthday, just celebrating the military and everything that's great about this country.
Not all Americans are so impressed. 46% of respondents in a Reuters Ipsos poll said it was inappropriate to hold the event.
There's been this war on men in the United States of America for a long time. Ralph Waldo Emerson talked about it in Self-Reliance. There's this war against manhood. And at the turn of the century, Theodore Roosevelt and many of the men of the time were concerned about this turn to progressivism. And they invented the Boy Scouts. Theodore Roosevelt said he was concerned about the decline in American manhood. And he was all for the Boy Scouts. And they wanted to teach these young boys how to be men. They had these ideals about Boy Scouts. They wanted to teach the boys character. They wanted to teach them leadership. They wanted to teach them citizenship. Things that that the Democratic Party despises. They wanted to teach them these Christian virtues of men. So guess what they said? Yes, y'all said, no avowed homosexual can be part of the Boy Scouts. And it scared them to death when they saw the type of men that the Boy Scouts had created. Because on D-Day, June 6, 1944, when the American troops invaded Normandy during World War II, and Normandy is when we invaded Europe to take it back from Hitler. Hitler had taken over France. The French just gave up. And we were coming to invade France and go all the way to Berlin. And Hitler was there waiting for us. The Nazis were there. And these young men came on those U-boats and took that beach. And they said that day it was the Boy Scouts versus the Hitler Youth. And the Boy Scouts tore their behinds up. And after the Boy Scouts walked into Europe and they completely took the Nazis apart and they liberated it. When they went into Japan and they took it and liberated it. When they island hopped across the Pacific and they took those islands against the kamikazes. Yeah, it scared the left in America to death. And they said, we got to take the Boy Scouts out. We got to do something about this manhood thing. We got to take away, John Wayne and Ronald Reagan, the American Marlboro Man. Yeah, John Shaft. Yeah, those types of guys, they got to go. And where do you go? Well, first you take out the father, which is what they did. A lot of people try to act like they don't know where they came from. It came very simply through the welfare state. It was very simple. It started out as a bit of a mistake and then became part of their plan. Very simple. Before the American Revolution, our founding fathers considered themselves slaves of the empire. And then Thomas Jefferson read John Locke. And he said that our freedom was not given us by the king. It was an unalienable right given us by God. It is irrevocable, non-transferable, and unsellable. The founders understood that, and this is why, at the end of the Declaration of Independence, they put, we pledge our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. They said they would die before they'd be slaves. I won't just die before I be a slave. I'll kill before I be one. So all y'all out there to say you have no choice, what the founders showed you. It's Patrick Henry that said, give me liberty or give me death. And on that fateful night when George Washington had to cross the Delaware River in the ice and the snow, or the American Revolution would be lost, they said, General, what are the passwords? He said, victory or death. Either we're successful tonight or we all die. That's the idea of a free man. And I am a free man. So all you out there that believes that someone has to give you your freedom, you're admitting that you're a slave. If you come try to take my freedom away, God has given me the right to defend myself. And I got two things that'll get you off of me. That is Jesus and my 38. Slaves is a choice. World War II is going on. Over 200,000 men got killed over in Europe. They left their wives and their children. They were orphans. The government says we have to do something about this. So they started Aid to Families with Dependent Children, AFDC. It was proper. It was right. But there's nothing more permanent, more permanent than a temporary government program. So as these children started aging out, got over 18, the money was still there. So what did they start doing? They started, of course, the welfare state got hold to it, and black people in the ghetto started hearing about this through the black preacher, and they started telling young girls who got married, and the shotgun wedding was the thing back then. Yeah, there was a whole lot of young women that were pregnant when they were at the altar getting married, believe me, okay? And the fathers agreed. It was part of our culture. If you got pregnant before you got married, you got married. And the daddy of the girl and the daddy of the groom made this happen. Well, then Aid to Family with Dependent Children came, and at first the woman had to be widowed, but then she just didn't need to have a husband. And these black girls started getting on welfare. And the only thing they had to do was get married. And the preachers and NAACP and the politicians told them, hey, you ain't got to get married. You can get money if you don't get married. And so Patrick Moynihan saw this. And so the black men were working, but there were more women getting on welfare, and he called it the Moynihan Scissors. He said, this is not right. Why is black male employment going up, basically going down, but women going on welfare is going up? And he started studying it, and he said, oh my goodness, the welfare state is destroying the black community. And he told Lyndon Johnson in his Moynihan report, this is the cure to this. We have to use the federal government to put the black man back in charge of his family. If we do this, we will save the black family. We will save America. If we don't, the black community will be destroyed. He told them that. Lyndon Johnson said, take this to the civil rights community. Moynihan did. And in his book, Bearing the Cross, David Garrow talks about it. And when he took to Martin Luther King Jr. and his crew, McGeorge Bundy, who was there with Moynihan, because he was on the Ford Foundation, these people were the ones that were putting together all of these retreats from Martin Luther King Jr. They said it's a wonder Moynihan got out of that room alive. That the liberals cussed him out, called him a racist, and they said that they wanted the man out of the house. And they went to LBJ and said that don't use the money to put the black man back in charge of his family. Use the money to put the black woman back in charge of her family, because marriage is just like slavery. And they put in the man-in-house clause, and they have used welfare from then until now to destroy the black family. So guess what they did? They ran out the man. He's gone. So guess what took the man's place, y'all? The Boy Scouts. I had a brother-in-law who was raised by a single mother. Turned out to be an awesome guy. Awesome guy. Tim Lawless turned out to be an awesome young man. I love him to death. And he told me about when he was in the Boy Scouts, how the Boy Scouts helped him. His father was not around, and the Boy Scouts taught him a lot of manly qualities. He ended up going to the military. Ended up marrying my beautiful sister, who's too good for him, but, you know. But you're still a good man to him. And he's ended up being this absolutely great American, great man, great part of the family, ride or die, love the brother to death. But the Boy Scouts helped get him there. The Boy Scouts. So guess what the left decided they was going to do? We're going to destroy the Boy Scouts. And they did. They started suing the Boy Scouts to allow homosexual men into the Boy Scouts. And they started going to corporations, telling them to pull back your money because the Boy Scouts are homophobic. The Boy Scouts are homophobic. And then the Boy Scouts made a terrible, terrible mistake. These jokers bowed to the pressure. And in 2014 voted to allow openly gay scouts and openly gay scout leaders come to the Boy Scouts. And right there, the scouts were destroyed. A lot of fathers took their sons out. The Mormon church took away their membership, took their people out. A lot of people said, I'm not going to allow my son to go and sleep in tents with boys who are sexually attracted to him, or be out there in the open with men who are sexually attracted to them. And then guess what started happening? Boys started suing the scouts for being molested over its entire, I guess, its entire life. Hundreds and thousands of lawsuits started coming out of men suing the scouts. And guess what they were suing them for, y'all? Gay men molesting them. Now riddle me this. You've been sued because gay men are molesting boys while you have them out in the woods and in tents during the time that they're camping with the Boy Scouts. And you pass a resolution allowing gay men and gay boys to be in the Boy Scouts openly? That makes no sense to me. So now they sued the Boy Scouts into oblivion. The Boy Scouts don't exist any longer in America. And now you got a bunch of effeminate men walking around here talking with lisps, get into a fight, they stab somebody in the chest and kill them. They won't just duke it out. The majority of them, the majority of Gen Zers, now 25%, say they're LGBTQ. Raised by their mothers, and mothers don't have any men to teach these boys to do anything. The left is even trying to outlaw football now. It's too violent. It's too violent. They call masculinity toxic. They want pajama boys walking around. You got the governor of Maryland, Westmore, saying that if his son wanted a sex change operation, he supported him in his transition and his journey. They're making states, sanctuary states for LGBTQ, and they're cutting off the breasts of little girls, and consequently, America is dying. And in the midst of all of this, Donald John Trump brings cage fighting to the White House with a bunch of macho men hollering, screaming, drinking beer. And he said, let me tell you something, man. America's back. You got a guy like Elon Musk out there just running around having children all over the place. And he can have them. He pay for them. I mean, I see him walking around, his little boy X on his shoulders all the time. He's not a deadbeat dad, that's for sure. And when they turned his son, when they transitioned him, Elon went off. I mean, Elon's South African. He and I might be some kin. Because we kind of see the world through the same prism. So y'all, they trying to kill us, but you can't kill a real man. Y'all don't like guns, y'all don't like fighting, and we do. Which means if we get into it, you're going to lose just by default. So we advise you to leave that alone. You're not going to beat us up wearing high heels, okay? And your thong might get caught up your butt if you start trying to fight me now. Plus, you don't go to the gym, so that little beer belly and that little softness is not going to work. So Donald John Trump, keep doing your thing, man. You kicked off in Iran's ass. You got the cage fight at the White House. You're doing it up. Don't give a sermon. Show a sermon. Masculinity is back. And I'm comfortable with it. And you who are not comfortable with it, go somewhere and get a tissue. Because if you got an issue, here's a tissue. Go and cry it out somewhere, baby. Okay? While we great men go and take over the world. And I'm going to keep bringing this to you because I'm here to wake you up. And I hope I did you some good here today. So join me again for another edition of the Vince Everett Ellison Show.
I'm April Chapman.
And I'm Vince Everett Ellison. There's a victim narrative here in the United States of America that says you have no control over your lives, no control over your agency. And they're basically saying that you're an animal, that you're a slave. I don't believe that. I don't think it's ever been the case. As an heir of Jesus Christ and as a child of God, I cannot be oppressed. I cannot be a victim. I do not think I am, nor do I think that any American ever has been or any person. Even when it comes to slavery, I believe, and I think they hold true, that slavery was a choice. You know how I know? Because people are choosing to be slaves now. So I'm making a documentary to debunk the myth that any human being or any American is held under bondage without their permission, even if they have to kill or give their lives to be free. Freedom is a choice, and slavery is a choice also.
We're asking you to partner with us. We are here. We have begun filming Slavery is a Choice, and it's an incredible documentary that outlines Vince's argument to prove to the world that slavery is absolutely a choice. I've partnered with him in the executive producer position, and we are appealing to our audience, you guys, those who watch us faithfully every single week, to help us bring this film to market. We've begun a crowdfunding campaign, and we're going to link the opportunity in the description below for you to partner with us and give any amount to help us bring this project to market. Slavery is absolutely a choice, and we know that slavery is a choice because we're choosing it today with many of the decisions that we continue to make to our own detriment. So we're hoping that you guys will partner with us, and we want to bring this film to market in summer of 2026. So click the link down below. And I'm April Chapman.
And I'm Vince Everett Ellison. Freedom is a choice. But in order to be free, you must be brave. In order to not be a slave, you must believe in Jesus Christ. So believe in freedom, believe in courage, be courageous, assist us in this project, and let's set and make other people's free by being true blue Americans, true blue patriots, true blue Christians, believing in ourselves and believing in the future ahead. Thank you. All right, friends, Vince Everett Ellison is here. I want you to go to my website, and on my website, you're gonna see a lot of great stuff, man. You're gonna see that we got t-shirts, we got caps, you got my books, my documentaries, you got all kinds of stuff on VinceSpeaksTruth.com. Go there. We're dropping new t-shirts, we're dropping new merchandise. My new book, The End of Tolerance, is there. The End of Tolerance. Make sure you get it, make it #1. If you got my first 3, get The End of Tolerance. It's just as good, and it's telling us we have to end our tolerance with these leftists, these Democrats. We can no longer allow them to sexually groom our children. We can no longer allow them to castrate little boys and call them little girls, run God out of the public square, take away our guns, take away our sovereignty. No longer allow it. So go on VinceSpeaksTruth.com. That is VinceSpeaksTruth.com. Hit merchandise. You'll see the t-shirts. You'll see the caps. You'll see the books. You'll see the documentaries. You'll see it all. And let's keep this ball rolling. God bless you.